What's going on, homies? Welcome to the Cracked Soccer Podcast, episode number 18. We are now of age. Ladies and gentlemen. On today's podcast, we'll cover MLS Week 19, as well as the FIFA Club World Cup, the Gold Cup, and a look into Week 20, FIFA Match Week 20 and 21. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. Bang, 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 bang. Boys, Fernando, Chino, my guys, how we doing? How we feeling? Say what's good to the people.
What's good, people?
I got the Crack Soccer Pod official drink right here.
There it is. What's the flavor?
It is ass flavored.
Messy fan tears, bro. You couldn't come get that goal in that last minute goal this week. I know you were
messy glaze.
I was gonna say ass flavored because of how bad I've been doing on these picks, guys. Come on, look at this.
Dang, bro.
I wasn't gonna call it out, but because you mentioned it, the Cracked Leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen, our weekly picks. I mean, look, not a lot of changes. Not a lot of changes.
I'm falling behind.
I'm coming. I'm buzzing.
Dude, I might be running away with this one, fellas. 116 correct picks so far this season. I'm looking good. Lopez with 111, my guy. What the heck, man? How many did we get right this last week, Fernando?
You got 8 right.
Say that again?
You got 8 right.
I didn't think I heard you.
8?
Okay.
8, like the 8 Ballon d'Ors Messi has. And Lopez got 5 and I got 6. So
ooh.
I entered the tax bracket. I am now in the hundreds.
There you go, man. But dang, bro, 101. I mean, 15 points behind.
Unfortunate, bro. Burning.
Yeah, I mean, Lopez, you're still competitive. That's the thing, right? You're still there. Like
rough week, man.
1 week and you're back up top, you know. But Fern needs at least 2 to get back on track.
I was checking off every game,
bro,
man. And as we were going through this weekend, each game, I was like, damn it, every single game you got right, man. I was just very, very sad about. But you know what, man? It's a new week. Got to just keep my eyes ahead. And definitely not behind me because there's nobody behind me, if we're being for real.
This last week, man. Freaking New York, bro. Freaking Atlanta.
Today, Junior.
I'm just trying not to freaking.
I should have had my guts set on New York, and I should have changed it, but because I was on the pod,
you did.
Oh, man,
he did text us. He's like, I want to pick New York, but I already said Atlanta on the podcast, and like we said, whatever you say on the podcast
still would have put me several behind you, man. But at least you know what, it's a new week.
It's these ties, like Okay, I need to stop saying that word.
Freaking Fernando.
The Galaxy had this dub in the books,
dude.
And
I know
they messed
really
it up.
Did.
But yeah, I mean, for some reason, I was the only one that picked San Diego this week. So as long as I keep doing, some of those picks, where I'm probably just gonna start doing the opposite of everything you guys do. So
well, I always go with a clear choice every single time. So that's kind of my strategy. I haven't really been leaving that. But I also mentioned at the beginning of the season where it's like, hey, it's a little bit tough to understand where teams are at, like the very beginning of the season. But now that we're, week 20, going into week 20, like you have a good understanding of how good teams are and how they're going to perform. Yes, there's a couple of like when the top dogs play, like, okay, it can go either way. But I do agree. There's some times where you're like, this team's going to win. They're the better team. And it's just not their day. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So, but I am always going with the clear choice. That's how I'm going to do it. That's how I'm going to roll. I don't want to do the whole underdog thing. So, that's my strategy. But anyways, that is the leaderboard. Again, we're playing for a jersey.
I was muted, but I was going to say I'm going to pick like a crazy pick that's worth like I'm going to deliberate with you guys and be like, okay, if I do this, I get 5 points. But if I don't, I lose 5. So,
dude, that's a big gamble. But maybe we can here close to the end of the season. So
well, you know what they say: gambling addicts always quit before they win big. So never quit.
Never quit. It's always a lock. Nice, love it, bro. Love it, boys. Alrighty, that is the leaderboard, and then going right into the correct performances of the week. Here on the list, I have Fern kicking us off, man. Let's see it, my guy.
Okay, so for my cracked player this week, they didn't get the dub or anything, but he had a really good shot at the 90th minute. Was Lionel Messi. So just because of that shot, I'm gonna have to pick him as my cracked player.
Because of
I'm just kidding.
this guy, he
I'm
pulled a fast
just
one on us.
kidding. No, I
Bamboozled.
can't do that. No, what's this guy's name? Freaking Willis. What you talking about, Willis? Joe Willis? Yeah, so I guess I've been keeping the theme going of just picking some goalies because a lot of the times when there's, like you said, the obvious choice of who to pick, who's gonna win, there's usually one player or a couple players that kind of get the underdogs to win, and I feel like Joe Willis was the reason. Not that I'm not gonna say Nashville's an underdog, but Chicago Fire has been playing very well that I just felt like they should have won this match. And honestly, with the stats that they had, they could have, because they had 14 total shots and then 7 of them were on target. And if you look at the image right there, he actually made 7 saves, obviously, because or else they would have scored. But yeah, he had, what is it, 5 saves inside the box, and he was just keeping Chicago Fire out of the game because Nashville didn't score until the second half in the 56th and the 75th minute. So he was able to keep them in the game and kind of keep Chicago Fire out of it, especially with Kuipers. He's one of the top scorers in the MLS. So, it's not very easy to keep him out this season. So that's kind of why I had to go in and give my boy Willis a shout out this week. So shout out to you, Mr. Joe Willis. And
Love it.
Good job on your game,
Mr. Willis.
Mr. Willis. And then honestly, I didn't put a game down for my game of the week. I'm just looking because I did see this one that I wanted to pick, but I don't know if anybody else did. But I wanted to go with the Minnesota San Diego FC game just because I don't know why you guys picked Minnesota, honestly. I just feel
Very good team.
I mean,
yeah. Very good team. I love that you brought this game up, but I'll let you go ahead and give your spiel. But I have some takes on this too.
Yeah. Did you have them? No.
Okay.
I just don't. I hate stealing people's stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, no. So it started off like a pretty good game. I wasn't watching, but I was keeping an eye on this game specifically, and I saw that San Diego was going down, and I got kind of scared because I'm like, oh no, like I didn't pick Minnesota, and I'm always keeping an eye on the games and seeing which teams I picked, which ones I didn't, and see if I'm screwed for this week or not with my picks. And San Diego came out, and I don't know, they're just playing like really well. I don't know what it is. Like they have some of their big players out, like especially like Lozano is out, but players like Dreyer have been showing up and keeping
Dreyer.
Where's Washer? I'm just kidding.
I think he's on the Division 2 team.
But yeah, no, they've been playing really well, and they also the MLS posted their rankings, and San Diego actually jumped up to third or fourth, but they're in the top 5 in the MLS right now, and they've definitely proven why, because they've been pretty consistent all season. So yeah, shout out to San Diego. And I wanted to keep it in the country, the state of California, and pour one out for the LA Galaxy just because they're bad. They're not bad. They're bad.
They're bad, bro.
They're pretty bad.
Like I wrote it down in the second minute or first to second minute of the game, Peck has a pretty good chance to score and he messes up.
Mm-hmm.
And then going into the 15th minute, Royce have like a quick like 1-2. He hands it off to the guy and he passes it back and he gets like a through ball going straight to, I need to start remembering these players' names, to Paintsel. Paintsel starts running on the left side. Literally, like it's him and Nascimento or something like that.
Yep.
Just literally both of them against the goalie, and I don't know who to blame. I don't know whether to blame Paintsel for the pass or
it was definitely Paintsel for the pass, bro.
But that literally, if he would have just gave it to us
so late.
Yeah, and he passed it pretty like forward and like 2 ahead of him, and it was. But if they would have scored there, then what? They could have been up 2-0 within the first 15 minutes, and then in the 46th minute, they have a really nasty mistake inside the box, causing them to go down. What is it, 2-1 at that point? And yeah, I mean, they just cannot seem to keep a win. Peck scores in the 87th minute, but for some reason, the LA Galaxy love to get scored on in the last minute. They crossed the ball in, and then I don't know who exactly was the one that headed it, but he just kind of throws it back, and freaking Klaus just chilling there. Nobody on him. I believe Yoshida was the closest defender to him, but him being so old and it being the 90th minute, he could just not make up the ground to stop him, and he just scores it. It kind of seemed like he just went at like a diagonal and just scored it on the far left side of the goal. So that was a good shot. But yeah, I wanted to pour one out for the Galaxy because I feel like after they scored in the 87th minute, they maybe felt like they were going to have it.
Man,
but
this
is also...
Their defense,
I wanted
man, just sad. Go on.
Yeah.
Go on, bro. Sorry.
No, sorry. I was just going to say the refs just need to stop adding so much added time to these games. Just end it. 90th minute. Just give it to the Galaxy. Don't let them play anymore.
Yeah, they give them like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's insane. I don't know why. I'm sure there was some sort of reason. There's some injuries or something like that. But like, geez, man, 10 minutes? Wow.
Their freaking defense went to go pick up milk, bro, and never came back. They were freaking...
Dude, I know. They've been atrocious all season. Yeah, well, it is what it is. We did mention that they were like 7 points behind St. Louis. They got the tie, so I guess if they win their next 2 games and St. Louis don't register a win in the next 2 games, like they could slowly climb back up. But it's at this point, like you mentioned, it could be over for them. We'll see what happens. But good stuff, man. Love the performances. Next up, my guy Chino. Let's hear it, my guy.
For my cracked player this week, I got to turn to my monster manual here, man, because this guy's an absolute freaking beast. Anders Dreyer, man, he in San Diego FC, 2 goals and an assist. Homie now leads the league for goal contributions with 17 goal contributions this season. I don't know if y'all remember who it was that scored San Diego FC's first club goal. It was indeed this man at what was then an upset over LA Galaxy, which now it's no surprise, bro. When we started the season, who would have thought? Who would have thought that would have been an upset? And now it's just like, yeah, of course, like that, we don't even bat an eye at that. But Dreyer also sealed the deal against St. Louis City with another decisive goal. Homies easily in all-star territory. Again, got to give my homies their flowers, but I can't believe I haven't shouted him out earlier in the season. He definitely deserves it this week. Jumped to the top of that leaderboard there. So all the love to you, Dreyer. And
the golazo too. Did you see it was a golazo from about half field?
Pinche golazo, bro.
Nuts.
Freaking nuts. Gotta freaking have to splice that in because that was just absolutely beautiful.
Reminds me of myself.
Reminds me of Fern, bro. You guys got to hear about how he did this week. His team out there. Shout out to Fern's. His
you guys do.
Sancho CF.
Sancho CF.
That should have been my pour one out.
Oh, bro.
So currently, first game was 7-1. Second game was 5-1. That's what, 12, negative 10 goal difference. So still better than LA Galaxy.
Still better than that.
Well, if you guys win 2 games, you definitely are. But at this point, you're pretty
2. Oh yeah, because they only have 1. You're right.
Exactly.
So absolutely beautiful, man. Well, wishing your team all the best this season, Fern. Sancho FC, Sancho City,
CF,
Sancho CF out there. You got it.
Club de
I believe.
Yeah, you don't even know what that means, huh? CF.
Chunky fajitas. No,
Yeah,
football, bro. I heard Reyes say it.
That's funny.
But my match of the week, though, this week is a little bit of a contradiction with my pour one out. But that game with St. Louis City and LA Galaxy, poured one out for them there. Still an amazing game. That 3-3 draw. Klaus being Mr. Santa Claus. I know somebody's going to shout him out here in a bit, but just a great game to watch if you guys got that opportunity to see that. Just last minute drama. Everybody loves a good and exciting soccer game, man. So great game this week there. And then for my pour one out, and again, it's a contradiction because like shouting out that amazing game that y'all had, pouring one out for St. Louis, City Boys podcast. I know you're out there watching. Man, you came back to against LA Galaxy. Couldn't seal the deal, right? You were behind significantly. Last game y'all won was against the Quakes. Is that really something worth feeling good about? You guys beat Omaha, which is, come on, like you're not even in the same league right now. So they're at 3 wins, 6 draws, and 9 losses for the season, just above LA Galaxy. I can't keep pouring one out for LA Galaxy week over week, but St. Louis, man, I had way more faith in y'all coming into this season. Let me know, City Boys podcast, what's going on, man? Let me know what's going on in the comments below, because I have lost all faith in St. Louis. I'll have a very hard time picking them in the weekly matchups here, but that is my pour one out, my cracked player, and the game of the week. Off to you.
Dang. What a good picks. I love it. But yeah, let us know. Let us know in the comments there what the heck's going on. Love it, boys.
St. Louis City.
He said it. Put that at the beginning of the clip. Nice job. Very nice. So for my correct performances of the week, for my cracked player, handing one off right here, Joao Santa Claus. Cracking one open for you, my guy. What a performance, dude. I mean, yes, we've discussed already kind of what happened within this game. It was a tie with St. Louis tying LA Galaxy 3-3, but the guy balled out. I mean, at the end of the day, 3 goals for Mr. Klaus. The cool thing about this one too, I'm not sure if you guys knew this, but hat trick obviously with the 3 goals, but it's also the very first MLS hat trick in club history for St. Louis. So didn't know that one, but that was pretty cool. So good for him. Obviously got those goals in there. At the end of the day, they couldn't pull off the 3 points, but nonetheless, the guy had a very good performance. A high player rating. You can't really beat that. He was in all the right places at the right time. Definitely, kind of made that defense move around a lot, and obviously found some space. So good on for you, man. The cracked player of the week. Hats off to you, Mr. Joao Santa Claus.
I was trying to see who, because they're a pretty recent-ish
Yeah, they were
team.
They're newer.
Yeah, so I wanted to see who their top, like their all-time top scorer was, and it is Joao Klaus. And I was going to say he jumped to the top after these goals, but I'm wrong. He was already there. 22 goals and 15 is the second best.
Heck yeah. Nice. Love it. So yeah, cracking one over for you, Klaus. And then for my cracked game of the week, I think you guys have already mentioned it pretty much. I was going to also do LA Galaxy versus St. Louis. What a game. Honestly, at the end of the day, 3-3. The thing that is crazy, right, is that LA Galaxy definitely could have gotten these 3 points. Paintsill, I don't know what you're doing, bro. You got to fix some stuff here. You gotta finish some of these opportunities, and you're not. Be better.
I was like, either he's gonna take this shot or he's just gonna be smart and give him the ball. And I feel like he should have just shot it with the pass that he gave. But yeah.
Yeah, we've already discussed it. It is what it is. 2 teams that are at the bottom of the Western Conference. So at some point, someone's got to claw their way back up, or maybe not. Maybe they're just going to stay at the bottom and just kind of say, hey, you know what? On to next year. It is what it is. Hell of a game, though. We've already discussed it. And then for my pour one out, I'm going to go 2 pour one outs here. I had something else in mind, but I didn't have time to do it. But I'm going to do 2 pour one outs here. The first one, and I know this was a correct game of the week for one of you, the Minnesota versus San Diego game. I watched a good chunk of this one, and I watched, obviously, the highlights again. And I think this game, some of these goals were like a movie, bro. Like, it was almost like a gag reel. So here's the funny one at the very beginning. I'm going to pour one out for Mr. Christopher McVeigh with the own goal for Minnesota United. My guy, was it Minnesota? Maybe it was San Diego. Let me double check here. Correct, for Minnesota United. You guys see on my screen, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So Christopher McVeigh for San Diego. Rule number 1 of defending, or at least one of the rules in defending, when you are giving the ball back to your goalie, you never pass the ball back headed towards the goal. And why do I say that? Because then this kind of shit happens.
Woo!
No, Dude, you can't be doing that, my guy. I mean, that kind of stuff obviously is not good for any team, but it is one of those rules where if you grow up playing, if you're, being a defender, you never pass the ball back to the goalie headed towards the goal because then things like that happen. So dang, dude, like that sucks, bro. At the end of the day, yes, the team won. It is what it is, but you obviously didn't need that.
I'm gonna
own
do my
goal on your
best to
record.
recreate that goal today.
In your league, dude.
Yeah.
Nice. There you go. Do it, man. I want a video evidence of it. It'll be nice.
I know. I'll get some videos for you guys this week, so
There you go. Heck yeah, dude.
get a highlight reel going, and then maybe we can get together and get some highlight reels going for everybody.
Love it, dude. So that's my first pour one out, and my second pour one out outside of the MLS. I have to pour one out for Auckland City FC. Listen, it's not what you think. I'm not pouring one out for you guys because you lost 10-0 against one of the best teams in all of Europe, FC Bayern. But here's the reason I'm pouring one out for Auckland FC. We always hear about the uncles, the tios, the guys that are playing in these Sunday league teams, and they're giving everybody advice on you got to play it this way. You got to do passes like this. You got to shoot it like this. If I didn't have a bum knee, I would have made it into the pros. I would have made it to FC Barcelona, to Real Madrid. If that were the case, well, actually, here's what I would say. If y'all were to play any of these teams that are professionals like an FC Bayern, y'all would lose this bad. Because Auckland FC obviously has got some part-timers up in there. There's some people that are barbers, some people that are like probably construction workers and everything playing on this team. And they lost 10-0 against FC Bayern.
I literally saw a story about how the starting goalkeeper had to take PTO from his work and like miss time. But he's like, yeah, like I might lose money or whatever, but like when am I ever gonna have the opportunity to play against a team like Bayern and stuff like that, So
absolutely.
But you can definitely tell he's a forklift driver.
Bro, hey, give him a chance. Give him a chance. But I'm pouring one out for those old heads saying that they could do it if they had the opportunity. No, you couldn't. Y'all would lose worse than 10-0. Come on.
What's the FIFA president's name?
There's the G.
It's Gianni Infantino. Bro, come watch Sancho CF play. Put us in the next Club World Cup. We'll be there. I'll get a team ready.
Bro, the news story from that would be like record-breaking 50-goal game, bro.
We're losing 7-1 against these teams, bro. Imagine against a Bayern. Oh my gosh.
Passing circles around you guys, that's for sure.
It's okay. I'll get El Capi on the team. We'll be good.
Oh, hey, I haven't in our indoor league that I was doing. We only ever lost one game out of the 4 or 5 sessions we did. I'm okay. I'm all right.
What? You don't want to be like Messi and bring a team from the bottom all the way to the top?
Oh, I would love to do that. Give me a chance, dude. RSL, give me a chance, bro. I'll go up on there. St. Louis, LA Galaxy, sign me, dude. Give me a contract. I talk a lot on the pitch, so give me that shot. I'll do it. Anyways, those were our correct performances of the week. Thank you, fellas. Very, very fun segment there. If any of our correct performances were your correct performances, let us know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe our content. Let us know what y'all think. And if it wasn't, let us know maybe who we missed and who we missed a pour one out for. Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for that. Perfect. Now going into some headlines here, fellas. Lots to discuss. Let's go ahead and start off on some easier things to kind of discuss about. First things first, the new Chicago Fire Stadium that is going to be built. What was it? Let me pull this up. Sorry, I had this and I totally closed it. So let me bring this back up here. New renderings, of the new Chicago Fire Stadium. The 78 is what they're going to call it. It looks like it's a $650 million new stadium near downtown in Chicago. Looks like, I'm kind of like glancing over here, I believe it's going to seat roughly 22,000 fans, which is awesome. I believe that's kind of like the minimum of 20,000 is kind of the minimum, so that's sweet. That's going to be hold a little bit more. But some of these renderings, fellas, look at this. I'm going to go ahead and share this with you guys. Some of these renderings look really nice. Here's kind of what they're looking for. And if you're asking me as kind of like a fan, it kind of gives off like Old Trafford vibes with some of this like brick. If you guys have ever seen it, I don't know if you've seen it, Lopez, if you've ever.
They need to name it New Trafford.
That's a sweet looking stadium, not gonna lie.
Yeah, super nice. Obviously right in downtown, pretty close. Yeah, Chicago Fire. See, I love this. This is really nice. Again, look at that.
Is that for like concerts and stuff?
Yeah, some concerts, halftime shows.
When are they looking to have this built by?
That's what I'm looking at.
This is privately funded, if I'm not mistaken, right? It's not like a publicly
really?
founded. Yeah,
Here we go.
I believe.
So they will begin in 2026, and they expect it to be open in 2028. It will take them about 2 years to build.
Yeah, see, look, real quick. It says $650 million specific stadium, soccer specific stadium in downtown Chicago. The stadium will be entirely privately financed by the club's owner and chairman, Joe Monsueto.
Dang, Joe, you got some money, dude.
Hey, let me get a couple bucks.
And I need some gas money. Nice. Well, that'll be cool, man. This is super exciting. The reason we bring this up too is obviously we've kind of made fun of, some New York City FCs kind of playing in baseball stadiums and a couple other things here and there. But to see more soccer specific stadiums popping up in the United States, very, very cool to have. Super cool to see. At some point these will be, brought up, and then maybe in the future, they kind of build them out, make them have higher capacity of, seating. But what are your guys' thoughts here on these, this new stadium, not just in terms of the stadium, maybe just the idea of more of these popping up, the ideas of what kind of turf will be used. But curious on what you guys are thinking on some of these new stadiums being brought up.
I honestly think it's a great thing, man, right? We're bringing soccer football to the U.S., and it's only a growing testament that people, if it's privately funded, people wouldn't put that investment towards something that they don't see being successful over the long term, right? So good on them, bringing more soccer to the U.S. I think it's great to start getting some of these teams out of football fields, out of baseball fields. Let's get them into our own stadiums, give us some pride. And also, like I said, just going back to it, it's a testament to the fan base is growing here. There's more excitement around soccer, and it's seen as a worthy investment. Also, I know that I don't know, we could talk a little bit more about how they were hating on the club teams, the Club World Cup replacing turf fields with grass. We could talk a little bit more about that, but again, it's just that would even be a problem if we had our own stadiums. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And then, I like it because maybe, I don't know if it helps. It could help the growth of the actual team, because instead of playing in the Bear Stadium or wherever they play, they like have this stadium that's specifically designed around them, and it can help, like, look at Austin FC, like the green lights that they can put every time they score a goal, and start kind of creating their own traditions and be able to create them ahead of time and have the infrastructure and the ability to do all this stuff, instead of just kind of like going into somebody's stadium and try and figure out how to run your own stuff during that. I mean, yeah, it'll definitely help. I do think, like Lopez said, definitely needs to be a grass stadium. I don't see, like, the only reason I could see it being turf is if you're playing on a football specific stadium where most football games are played on turf, just because, I don't know, maybe the grass, it doesn't tear up as bad as like grass would throughout like the thing, and like less expensive probably. But with soccer, you definitely, if you're making a soccer specific stadium, they should definitely opt in for grass. Or maybe like, what is it? I know Real Madrid Stadium does it, and I know the Las Vegas Stadium does it, but they can take out like the turf field. Like you can like take out the grass field and then put in like a turf field if you need to, kind of something like that. I don't know if that's probably too much money.
Yeah, I think that's for the most part, it might be pretty doable with most stadiums, possibly. At least if you're going to be building a stadium, I would think that's something that you have to consider, right? But definitely very cool to kind of see a lot of these, stadiums kind of being brought up. I did do a quick little Google search for from Google and just kind of AI. It says there's only 22 soccer specific stadiums in Major League Soccer. So given that there's 30 teams, there's at least 8 teams that are probably not playing soccer in a soccer specific stadium. So we'll kind of see. I'm surprised with the number 22. I feel like I would have been a little bit higher. But going into like that conversation as well with the turf, it will be interesting to see how they manage the grass, right? I don't know if you've seen this, Lopez, too, but in Europe they have like these giant, like almost like warmers. Have you seen those? They have these like giant warmers that, like, see if you're somewhere that's a little bit colder, they roll these like warmers out and they, warm the pitch. They kind of give it like faux sun, you know what I mean? To kind of help the grass grow, kind of get, the ice off or whatever it is, but they kind of use those quite a bit.
It's like this.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
pretty
a
sick.
huge production. It seems like, yeah, it seems like a giant investment, but that's also a very cool thing that we'll kind of see, like if some of these bigger stadiums start to kind of do, or there's also the brand new stadium that Real Madrid plays in, the Bernabeu. Have you heard about how they're doing the pitch, like how they're storing the pitch,
No.
grass? So they're doing it's pretty insane. So they kind of have cut the grass like in long strips. And Fern, if you start looking up like this image, it's kind of cool. They're gonna cut it up in like long segments, and they're gonna store it like on the side of the field to kind of go down in layers. Let's see if you can find it here.
Can you see like on this right side, it kind of like does this, and then it like gets like
What?
split up into this, and then it gets like brought down under the actual like stadium, and then they
right
have
there.
all these lights.
Go down. Go down a little bit. Go down to the US Sun.
The
Go
US
left a little
Sun.
bit.
Left.
Go left. Right. So you see the image you have selected?
Yeah.
Go down from that image you have selected to the US Sun. No. Not on this little like extra thing, but go left a little bit. Right here. So you have the RSI Sports Group selected. Go down a little bit from where that like construction.
Down? Okay, I see.
Yeah, right there.
Sorry.
Yeah. So you see that right there? That's nuts, dude. Oh, he just turned the camera off. Are you good, Lopez? You're muted too. I don't know.
My guy just disappeared, bro. He saw Santiago Bernabeu and disappeared. Yeah.
But that's kind of what I was seeing too. I've like seen some of those seen some of those things being brought up just to kind of like maintain the grass, make sure it's like healthy, make sure it's green, all those different things. So that's super cool. That's obviously very advanced. Bernabeu, I mean, what does it hold? Like 90,000? Like that's an insane technology, right? So
it also it makes it a lot like easier to have things like happen in there, you know, because if you're in a soccer stadium, the soccer team's not going to want you to come in and trample all over their grass,
right?
So it makes it easy for other events to happen. And I mean, I guess I don't know, I'm pretty sure maybe the remodel was also privately funded, but if you're doing like a publicly funded type thing, it's also like another like a pushing point where it'd be like, you know what, well, the city can have state like whatever, like other things that isn't just soccer. And it holds 78 up to 80,000.
Yeah, it's like something like that. I think the Camp Nou is the one that holds like 90, so we'll kind of see. But either way, awesome to see, brand new stadiums being brought up. That technology is definitely going to be, coming up, I'm sure, with everything going on and kind of as the sport grows.
99,000, almost 100,000.
They're doing a remodel too, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's wild. Like, that's insane. But super cool, man. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. We'll keep track of the whole Chicago stadium. That'll be really cool to kind of keep tabs on. So good on them for having a brand new stadium being built. Going into the next little topic here, the MLS All-Star Game. Going to be this year in Austin, Texas on, I believe, July 23rd. Yep, on July 3rd. So, from my understanding, they have not finalized a roster. That is coming up here, I believe, on the 25th of this month. That will be finalized. But again, we've discussed this one a little bit beforehand in some earlier episodes. But basically, MLS All-Stars versus Liga MX All-Stars, which in Texas, man, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be spicy. I'm honestly looking forward to it. Really hope we can. I'm gonna try to make it out. We're gonna try to make it out. The Cracked Soccer Podcast is gonna try to make it out. We're gonna see what happens. I'm excited for it. How do you guys think? Who do you guys honestly think is kind of in the running for the All-Star? I believe the voting has ended. Let me see here.
Well, if you ask Fern, you know what he's gonna say, bro. Looking again, got to turn to the monster manual here, and the first person on that page is Lionel Messi.
Well, that's true.
And also, man, I called it out. Anders Dreyer, he's been killing it. Definitely another contender for the All-Star games there.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. I think he'll definitely be somebody up in the running there. Him up top, I think, Lionel Messi, Dreyer definitely got to be considered. Even his, right hand over there with Chucky, maybe even he's being considered. You look at, what's his name, Ty over in Philadelphia. He's been doing very well, as well as the guy from Orlando. What's his name? I forget his name, but there's a lot of different, forwards and midfielders that are definitely going to be considered. The one I'm obviously very much rooting for is going to be some guy in the midfield that's making headwinds in the U.S. men's national team right now, Mr. Diego Luna. I really hope he gets into this All-Star game. That'll be super cool to watch and see.
I actually have sorry to cut you off. Diego Luna's getting in for
it.
sure. But I actually have an inside source, and the All-Star lineup has been leaked.
No.
Literally all into Miami players.
Goodness.
And one right back and no right wing because they don't have an Inter Miami player.
Say that again and like look at the camera and like say that one more time.
What do you want me to say?
The same thing you just said, like it's been leaked. Say it again.
All right, guys. I have an inside source to the MLS All-Star team. It's been leaked, and I have the picture right here for you guys. Check this out.
Dude, that's hilarious.
Get that fuck out of here.
This is Fern's All-Star team for sure. But definitely, it looks very familiar. It looks like a familiar Inter Miami team that plays week in and week out. So, but I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a cool game to go watch. A lot of different, All-Stars there that maybe we don't get a chance to watch, right? Just kind of being where we're all from. So hopefully that'll be a fun little atmosphere. From my understanding too, there's going to be some sort of a skills challenge beforehand. Let me look at
my only concern. I mean, I guess Messi's only playing in the MLS right now, right? Because Argentina, he did play last Argentina's game, but I'm just scared that maybe like he's like, oh, this is just for fun. I'm just gonna not play this if he gets voted in. What do you guys think? Do you guys think if he not if he's in it, do you think he'll play?
Well, let's see. We mentioned the date, right? So
the 23rd
of next month, Leagues Cup. So right after this, the last, basically the final sprint of the regular season will be in play as well. Qualifiers for the World Cup, I believe those are done. I mean, they're not going to have any international games, right? So I think so, man. So,
yeah.
I think if I'm the MLS, I'm making sure that Messi can be there.
Yeah.
Even before this voting happened, I'm like saying, okay, everybody's gonna vote Messi in. How do we make sure he plays? How do we make sure we sell tickets? How do we make sure we get people to attend and have fun and watch the greatest player to ever play participate? I think yes.
The Club World Cup final is on July 13th though, so that'll only give Messi 10 days to rest.
That's plenty of time.
Yeah. So
I mean, if it was like a U.S. men's national team, crybaby, maybe not enough time. But Messi, for sure. 10 days, he's good. What do you think,
Is the All-Star game similar to, like, are we talking, like, I've never watched the, like, football All-Star game, but, like, is it similar? Are we talking that it's similar to, like, the NFL where nobody really gives a quack? Or are we talking, like, it's more like basketball where people are actually having fun and it's, like, like, they're vibing? Like, I've never seen it. So.
I think it's more of, like, a basketball type thing where, I mean, it's soccer. You, like, it's not like a football where you might get injured because you're gonna have to tackle somebody, so you can kind of like still take it a little bit serious, but like not at the same time, like you're not gonna so yeah. And I believe it's a Liga MX 11 versus a MLS 11, which is I think the first time they've done it.
Second
so it might be more of a serious thing.
Yeah, I love that idea. I love the fact that it's MLS versus Liga MX. I like that plan that the MLS has done for the All-Star game. Here's how I think they can make it a little bit more interesting, maybe just to kind of make it more serious. Because yes, it's an All-Star game. Like, they're going to be there. They want to score goals. They want to have, the fans excited, but nobody really wants to get hurt. Liga MX obviously not in season right now, so they probably are going to be a lot more well-rested. MLS, like, going into the last half, probably won't want to exert themselves too much. If we've learned anything from the Club World Cup, money talks a little bit. So here's a little something that would be interesting, MLS. If you make it to where, yes, it's the All-Star game, but winners of either the MLS side or Liga MX side, maybe it's a winner-take-all pot of, like, and it goes into that respective league, and it's distributed to just the players. And maybe maybe you make it just like the players, like of all the players, or maybe just the players of the teams that got selected, if that makes sense.
Kind of like the in-season tournament for the NBA, where like whoever wins that, everybody on like the team gets like 50,000 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I think that'd be cool. I mean, because then, yes, like, do they need more money? I don't know, probably not. But like, at the end of the day, like, you've seen tournaments like the TST, like, people want to play for something, right? And so maybe money's a thing for them. I don't know. But I think it'd be a little bit more exciting because then, yes, they get like a good chunk of change at the end just for winning the game. And there's really not much of a way to kind of, wiggle your way out of that one. So I think it'd be a little bit more fun. Or maybe it's like hey, you win this and you get one extra team to the Concacaf Champions Cup next year type of thing. I don't know. Things like that. I think things need to be on the line is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but then it's not an all-star game. It's not for fun. They're doing it for fun to take a break. Loser has to play.
Auckland FC.
I don't know. I can't think.
Loser has to play who? Yeah, I mean it'll be, hopefully it's good. I think it'll be nice to go like watch and kind of see all these all-stars, try to get some autographs or something, but I think
I'll figure it out. I need to go just so I can. I'm all I'm saying is if we end up if I decide to go, we get there and Messi's like, I'm not playing, I'm leaving.
Dude, you can't pull who was it, Houston Dynamo, and like say, hey, we want our money back.
Well, I did tell you
there's going to be a lot of people there, I think.
I almost bought tickets to the LAFC game when they were playing in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, and I even got a call from maybe it was real, but they called me and they were like, hey, so are you still interested in buying tickets? And I was like, no. And then I wish I would have done it though, because Messi did end up going to play, but on the thing it did say we cannot guarantee anybody will be there, so no refunds, no money back.
Yeah, so I mean, do it at your own risk, I guess. But basically, I think it'll be a fun thing to kind of attend and kind of look at a lot of different players that you're never going to get a chance to watch. So we'll try to make it out. We'll see how it goes. Make it exciting, please. MLS All-Stars, Liga MX All-Stars, make it exciting. Make it fun. Do some crazy. You guys, sorry. Did you guys see the soccer aid match that they did for like UNICEF?
Yeah.
The whole debacle about the guy slide tackling this chick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that?
I did it.
Lopez? At the end of the day, like, it was like all in good fun. It is what it is. Like, they hugged it out after. It was fine. But like, there was a moment in this soccer aid match which you can kind of relate it to maybe like kind of how the All-Star game would be played, but like
it's a charity match. So
charity match. Yeah. So this guy like just chases this one chick down on the side of the side of the field and just slide tackles her, dude. It's a fair challenge.
Ball.
He won the ball. He won the ball, but she did fall, and everybody was like, "Yo, what the heck, man?" Hey, he's just playing. He's playing the game, but like we want something crazy like that to happen.
Yeah,
we want something to talk about.
Damn.
I mean, I feel like something like that always happens because it is for fun, but if you're a professional soccer player, at the end of the day, you don't like to lose, So at one point, it's going to become, well, I am having fun, but I also don't. I'm not going to just let them win.
Right.
So we can all play.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that is the All-Star game. We'll kind of keep tabs on that and kind of see if we can kind of participate in it. But we'll go ahead and keep y'all informed on how this one goes, who's going to be at the game, and if we will be at the game. Stay tuned. Next one up, really quick, the Leagues Cup. I don't know. Here's I guess just a question. Lopez, do you know what the Leagues Cup is?
Isn't it like it's a little bit of a newer tournament, right? Like started pretty recently, but I don't know all too much about it. So y'all are gonna have to Lopez lessons me because no sé.
Okay, perfect. So Leagues Cup is a little bit like kind of what we were talking about with the MLS All-Star game. It is Liga MX versus the MLS, basically. From my understanding, it's 3 countries, 2 leagues, 1 champion, right? So 3 countries because I believe, Canada is kind of involved in the MLS and everything, so that's why they see 3. But the 2 leagues is obviously the MLS and Liga MX. And they basically compete, right, for 4 weeks for a single champion in this tournament. It's basically like kind of just your typical playoff tournament format. But the biggest thing about this tournament that I think will be very enticing to anybody and everybody, especially the fans here in the U.S., is that and this is the biggest thing, there are no ties in any of these games.
That's pretty sick.
So, yeah, I honestly love it. So the point system is this, right? There's no ties. Each team receives 1 point if the game is tied after the 90 minutes, and then the winner of the penalty shootout earns an additional point. So If it's tied, like let's just say a game is tied 1-1 after the full 90, each team gets 1 point, but instead of going to extra time, they just go straight to penalties, and then whoever wins gets that extra point. So super cool kind of format. I love it. I think it's like the third time they've done it or something like that. I forget exactly how many times they've done it. They've done it a couple times, and I believe Columbus has won it, I believe. But just to kind of look at it here, we'll go ahead and take a look at some of the teams that are going to be involved in this one. Come on, share. Are you guys sharing? Why isn't this?
I'm not.
Oh, here it is. Here's a look at some of like the teams that are going to be involved. Let me go ahead and try to make this a little bit bigger. Hold on, it's not wanting me to do this. Maybe because I'm sharing. Anyways, Cruz Azul, Miami, Toluca, Columbus Crew, all the big names are kind of going to be in there. These last champions obviously are going to be there. So LA Galaxy will be there. Club America will be there. As they mentioned there, that they were the 2024 MLS champions. So granted that they're going to be in this one, right? But a super cool tournament. 36 teams. Going to be exciting. Super, super cool to kind of watch this. Something that we're going to look into too is, let me go ahead and pull this up really quick. Leagues Cup. Come on, fellas.
If RSL would have made it far in this competition a couple years ago, Inter Miami would have came to America First Field Lopez. When his first year he was here, if they would have not lost against an easy team, they would have hosted Inter Miami.
I think I remember you mentioning that way back when it happened.
Yeah, I was like, bro, there's no way they lose this, right? They're not going to ruin this opportunity for all of us in Utah, right?
And they did. Unfortunately. So it looks like there's 18 teams from each one. You can kind of look at the Liga MX teams here, and then we do have the MLS teams right here. Looking at some of these matches, yes, it doesn't start till July 29th, so the end of July. But yeah, we got some pretty cool matchups here with some of these Liga MX and MLS teams. I believe in the group stages, they all play the opposite league, correct? I think like it says right here, right? Like Montreal will play Leon, LAFC plays Mazatlan, and so on and so forth. So it's going to be very cool, right? Just to kind of see, hey, which league is better in a sense, right? Very cool. We're actually may have the opportunity to kind of go see this one, Club America against Real Salt Lake here in Salt Lake City. So that will be a very cool one to watch. Believe there's a lot of America fans out here in the state of Utah.
Arriba las Chivas.
Which is, yes, exactly. But yeah, this will go on for, I believe, 4 weeks. So it's a pretty quick tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm actually a Toluca fan.
So it'll just be because they won just recently.
They won?
I pinned you for more for a month.
Did they?
Game,
my
bro.
gosh, it's because I've only been a fan for like 2 weeks.
Nobody's seen them. Nobody can see the wagon behind you. But yeah, nonetheless, it's going to be a very cool and exciting tournament. We'll make sure to kind of cover these as they come up, but just making sure that we're kind of staying on top of that one. At the end of July, the Leagues Cup, going to be exciting for sure. And next, to kind of end it off here, we're going to go into the Gold Cup and the Club World Cup. A lot of different things happening here, fellas. Let's go ahead and start with the Gold Cup, though. Looks like, let's see here. How are we looking in the Gold Cup, man? Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these standings, and then we'll check it out. Did you guys get a chance to see any of these games?
I did not.
Man. I'm not a real football fan. Not a real egoista.
Oh, here it is. Nice. Okay, here we go.
El Salvador's currently playing as we speak.
Oh, nice. Okay, sweet. We did get a win from Mexico. They did beat
Dominican Republic.
Is it Suriname?
No, the Dominican Republic.
Dominican
Republic.
Yeah, they played the DR.
Oh, I thought they played this guy.
They won 3-2.
Gotcha. Yeah, they did play the DR. They got that win. They're up there with Costa Rica. So those two are kind of, heading that group. El Salvador currently playing right now. So this is their second. Is this their second game then?
Let me double check, but I believe it should be.
It says right here they have
or maybe
one match.
Maybe it's just saying that because they're currently drawing. So maybe that's
okay. Gotcha. Okay, cool. But yeah, Canada still has to play, and then Panama. It looks like they got they're the lone win over here. Yeah, I don't think Mbappe showed up.
Yeah,
Lopez.
Damn it.
So I'm sorry. I don't think he's showing up. I don't think he's going. Who?
El Salvador. They played once, Tuesday, June 10th.
Oh, Okay, nice. So
Yeah,
this
and
is their
they're
second game.
Suriname against Suriname. They're on this.
Oh, so then
Wait, how does that make sense?
It must not have been for the Gold Cup then.
And that's what it says here. Huh.
Oh, really? Huh. Interesting. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Cool.
What? Drop. Are you checking FOTMOB or?
Yeah, I am. Maybe I'm looking at it in a different year, but that's what it says.
Interesting.
I might be tripping.
He might be tripping. And then looks like I don't know if you guys watched, but the U.S. won by a large margin against Trinidad and Tobago this last week. They beat them. I think it was 5-0. Yeah, 5-0. So dang, man, they kind of put a hurt on Trinidad. And then the invited team of Saudi Arabia also getting the 3 points. So lots of action going on over here for the Gold Cup in some of these games. But I do believe, kind of with this and then also with the Club World Cup, some of the things that have kind of been brought up, ticket prices, yes, they're kind of outrageous. The weather, yes, it's kind of crazy. But I think something that's kind of weighing on everybody else's mind is kind of the big one, right? With kind of everything going on in the States. Everybody has heard it. If you haven't, you might be living under a rock.
Catch him up real quick, bro. So you got you got the Club World Cup, bringing teams and fans from around the globe to Miami.
Yes.
And meanwhile, you got ICE, CBP saying, don't forget your papers. I want to put this into a little bit of context, right? If we were to go to another game in another country, going to go enjoy the beautiful game, and you're met outside by people saying like, hey, show me your documentation. I maybe left my passport back at my hotel. Maybe I didn't want to lose it. And then you are now at risk of being taken away. That is fear-inducing. That plays some mind games, right? So again, for those of you who didn't see it, CBP, that's Customs and Border Protections, tweeted out, we will be at these games suited and booted. The tweet was then deleted, but the message was then sent, right? It's really more of a flex.
I mean, you can't really.
And of power, you can't really take it back. And it's almost like interesting timing, right? Where ticket sales started going down. We all know FIFA, le gusta el dinero. They love a little bit of money. Probably saw that their ticket sales were slow. I believe I saw that Miami was selling tickets at like $20. It was like package deals, super cheap. You hadn't seen anything like that for the Club World Cup or any games, like especially featuring Messi, man. Like, I'm not trying to get too far into it, but if you do look at the percentage of fans in the U.S. who are soccer fans, 30% of them are Latino. 30% of those people decided not to show up to these games are going to impact your pockets. FIFA maybe talked to them. Maybe they took down those tweets because of it, but the damage was done. The pockets are hurt. People are maybe saying that it's because, hey, maybe people are saving up for the World Cup next year. But the fear still stands, in my opinion. Not trying to get into my own feels, more so is trying to just state simple, high-level facts. It plays mind games with you. People just don't want to. It's like, I don't want to get too far into it because this is something that's very close to my heart. But I'll leave it at this: you cannot claim to host a global game and then treat international fans and immigrants like threats. You either celebrate the world or you scare it off. And in this case, we're doing a lot of that fear, in my opinion, to scare off some fans. Could there be more factors? Absolutely. But this is just something that I deeply care about. But that, fellas, your thoughts. All opinions are welcome.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all have strong opinions about what's kind of going down. And yes, like, it is kind of crazy to see some of these ticket prices go down and just kind of seeing like, what is the reason, right? I think we definitely fumbled where at the very beginning there was like, hey, look, these organizations, ICE, CBP is going to be at these events. I actually looked it up too. I guess it's not like unheard of for them to be at events. I believe it was like USA Today mentioned, like they'll sometimes have them for like really big events like the Super Bowl or something like that. It just kind of aid in like, just in case something goes down, right? So it's not like unheard of, but I do think, when you think about like, okay, well, you want to go to the Super Bowl or you want to go, watch some crazy big event here in the States, you don't hear about them being there, right? And then now, because we mentioned it at the very, very beginning of this tournament, this is where I mentioned we fumbled. It's like you mentioned, just don't put that fear into people's minds, because at that point, like, yes, everybody's minds is going to go into that direction of, dude, this is the worst case scenario is going to be, taken out of the country, right? So I think we fumbled that completely. I think it's something that's very embarrassing for the country, honestly, to kind of like say, these guys are going to be there, ready to go. I understand, given the climate of the world, why they would want them there, but let's not, bring it out and say it as like a, hey, don't get out of line. You know what I like? You know what I
It's the
mean? Like
marketing of it all.
that's
Yeah.
not a
Yeah.
yes, it's not a good play,
No,
right?
like if you're gonna be there, like just be there, do your job. Like
Correct.
if you've been at other games, like you mentioned, like I've never heard of that, so that's a great point that you called out.
Yeah. Yeah, so because I read it on USA Today, I didn't know that either, right? It was a brand new thing that I kind of was like, oh, I never would have known, right? But yeah, like you mentioned, right? Like it's definitely one of those things where, okay, like I mentioned, climate of the world, I get why extra security is needed, but again, I would say FIFA president, right? I forget you mentioned his name, Fern. I forget his name. FIFA president,
Infantino or something like that.
Yeah, Infantino, honestly, Trump, JD Vance, like you guys got to come out and be like, yo, we messed up right here. We messed up in the Club World Cup. Like this was not what was intended. If you guys want the 2026 World Cup to be a success and to be like, hey, a celebration of a sport, of a game, not some political theater, like you guys need to come out and address this and be like, hey, this was done poorly. We're going to do better. And this is how we're going to do it. That is my 2 cents. Like, don't be dumb. This is not a political play, a ploy, whatever. This is a game. This is something that people celebrate. Do better. I don't know what you think, Fern.
Yeah, no, definitely, especially with like not even just necessarily like the people that are here in the country, but just the people coming into it, you know. It's like you just don't feel welcome. Why are you going to go to a place where you just feel like, you know what? If I mess up, like Lopez said, like why do I feel like I need to carry around my identification so I'm not in like game, and then I don't have like because I get in trouble for this and whatnot. So I mean, like I mean, I guess if they need to be there for security, like you said, but yeah, I agree with you guys. There was no need to put that out there into the world. Just do your job. Most of the time, they're doing their job without notifying people anyway. So why do you need to like go out of your way to like tweet something out saying we're going to be here? And then not only that, but you have a partnership with a global brand like FIFA, and you're trying to grow the sport here. And then now you're putting out all this bad publicity about what the US is to all these other countries and being like, you know, like we're not welcome here and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, you know, it sucks to see. It sucks to see and to have to like kind of have to talk about it and whatnot. But, you know, sometimes in life you have to talk about things that are uncomfortable, and that's just how it is. So, yeah, hopefully it gets.
We don't see stuff like this with any other sports, right? Like, I love the NFL. I love my Denver Broncos. Much love to y'all, right? But, like, where else are we going to see teams from around the world come together? My soul gets so excited to have thought about the World Cup coming when it was announced that it was coming to the US, and just thinking, man, I get to party with people from around the world. We get to unite under something that is so beautiful and important to us, right? And that's really what we should be focused on, is that unity, that celebration, that excitement that comes with it, and not have to be worried and talking, like even having to bring these things up. But again, like Reyes, Cap said, fumbled it. Let's try and do better. Let's be better. We can be better. I believe in that. And let's have a kick-ass World Cup, man. That's all I want.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get in a fight with at least one person from 5 different nations.
I got to prove myself, bro. It's the freaking tournament of power out there, bro.
There you go.
I'm going to start my own World Cup.
Boxing World Cup, man. Here we go. Throw hands, baby. Lightning and thunder coming your way. You guys know where Lightning McQueen was made? Right here, baby. Right here. Ka-chow, baby. But yeah, again, a lot of things going on. Everybody that's participating in some of these games that have already bought tickets, be safe, do what you got to do. I'm sorry on behalf of the, kind of what's been going down. I'm sorry for, worrying you, for people not going. We're all very sorry for that. So, hopefully we'll do better. We'll continue to do better. But nonetheless, man, I mean, you kind of watching some of these games, not just Gold Cup, but Club World Cup, but like MLS is not doing very good. You guys, in the Club World Cup, out of the 3 games that we have played, we've lost every single game. And Seattle, or maybe we've tied one. I think one was tied.
Yeah, Messi drew. Or Inter Miami drew.
Inter Miami drew, sorry. So we haven't won, but we've only scored 1 goal, and that was Seattle Sounders that scored against Botafogo or something, which, by the way, I want to do a little plug here because Botafogo might have some of the cleanest jerseys I've ever seen. Have you guys seen them?
But now I want to see them, bro. Am I about to buy one? Is that the one I'm going to want when I win this whole thing, bro? When I get on top of the leaderboard?
Dude, let me bring these up, dude. These are clean, my guy. I think this was it. I think it had some of the what's it called? The marketing in front of it. But if you look at this, I think the thing that I love most about it is like this classic Reebok logo. Dude, these are nice and they look really good on the field.
Looks like a
you
ref,
can literally,
bro.
that's what I was gonna say. I'm
Dude.
like that guy at the NBA game literally wears it every time.
Dude, this is sick. I don't know if you guys are clowning on this. Dude, this is
I was
so
gonna say,
cool.
bro, Foot Locker
And
be
like I
rocking
said-
these things. I'm not clowning.
Foot Locker Foot Locker will be rocking these for sure.
they are
I don't know.
pretty good.
I
They're
like them.
sick.
I think they're cool. Very minimalistic kind of feel to them. I mean, I never really love kind of the big marketing in the very middle, but you
I
know,
don't
the
mind
logo
it.
is very clean. The Reebok, I like it quite a bit. So
Yeah, no,
maybe it's
pretty
not your
nice.
cup of tea, but I think it's nice.
It's pretty. It's a nice jersey. It's like you said, it's kind of like a classic, just black and white jersey. And honestly, those are all pretty sick. Kind of reminds me of Juventus a little bit. So those are always
Yeah.
nice.
Like that Atletico.
Yeah.
No, is it Atletico that has also the stripes? I don't know. I like it, bro. It's
No,
very, very,
Yeah, but
very,
it's red.
yeah, but with the red, right? Very classic, very
Mhm.
futbolista. What I need, bro, is one of these right here. Where we at? Let me share my screen real quick. Where's my freaking screen share? I need me one of these jerseys right up here. Boom, but throw Mbappe in the back of one of these bad boys, bro, and I'm
My
set.
goodness.
Guadeloupe, baby, that French territory.
Dude, honestly, I didn't even know this is what they look like.
No, I gotta look at the kits more often.
Why am I thinking of like they should be blue?
No idea.
Why am I
bro.
thinking it should be France?
Right? No, there's lots of French territories that play out here, but much love to the boys out in Guadeloupe. Keep playing.
Yeah, for sure. Here, let me go ahead and bring this up too. I'm gonna bring up the Club World Cup because we do have some upcoming games here that I kind of want to get y'all's very quick opinions on. So let me go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and see some of these matches. Again, Auckland City, what a dagger, dude! I'm so sorry. That definitely sucks. And again, Seattle Sounders losing 2-1 against Botafogo in Lumen Field, which sucks to do it obviously in your home turf. And then LAFC losing 2-0 to Chelsea, which I think LAFC was playing pretty well at the very beginning of this game, but then they kind of slowly just chipping away. Chelsea's just a very good team. They couldn't really keep up with them. So that's that for them. I did want to go through some of the other ones that are coming up for specific MLS teams here. So it looks like Inter Miami does play FC Porto, which I think we chose Porto and Miami to leave the group, no?
Yeah, they actually all four of the teams tied, so it's 0-0.
Oh,
So
anybody's game.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I would say Inter Miami got lucky that Porto tied because they're gonna have Porto and Palmeiras. What is it? Palmeiras. I believe those two are probably the two best teams in their group. So if they can get this win over FC Porto, and they can maybe or win even against Palmeiras next time, they can get through. So is it? I think we talked. Is it 3 people that get through, or is it just 2?
I think it's just 2.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just 2 that go through. I think in this group we chose Inter Miami and Porto. They're playing at the Benz, so that'll be. I
was gonna say that Messi can score on Ronaldo's keeper, but you just clicked on it and he's actually injured, so he's out till June. Yeah, Diogo Costa right there. That's the Portugal starting goalie. So
dang. I mean, we're rooting for you, Inter Miami. Hopefully, you guys can kind of get this win. I think if you guys can beat Porto, that's definitely like a good chance that you guys can make it to the next stage. So they definitely have a tough game there on the 19th. And then we have Sounders against Atletico de Madrid. Dude, this is a tough one.
It's so tough for them, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it at this point. Like, they did lose against Botafogo. And then in this group,
PSG.
Who else is in there? Yeah. Yeah. I don't think we chose them getting out of the group, though, right? I think it was just PSG and Atletico.
I believe, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, PSG literally just beat Atletico Madrid 4-0.
Les pusieron unos guamazos.
Wild. Yeah, I mean, it's sad because now Lumen Field's going to have to watch Seattle potentially lose once again against a very good team. But, dude, people in Seattle, dude, they're getting Atletico and then they got Botafogo. Like, they're getting some good games over there in Seattle, dude. Good for them. Dang. So, yeah, we'll kind of see how that game goes out. And then, hey, LAFC, I don't even know who this is. So, y'all better win. Tunisia.
Transparency.
All I'm saying is the MLS needs to win like every game that is not against like a PSG,
Right.
Atletico Madrid team. They need to win because the whole world is watching, and
Yes.
you can't mess up this opportunity because you already know people are already saying the MLS is a bad league. So if the MLS teams come in and don't win a game, it's not going to look good on the league. So hopefully, I mean, I don't see them not winning a game. I do have Inter Miami making it to the final.
Inter Miami wins it all, bro, I'll buy all of us a jersey. I'll buy all of us a Messi jersey, bro. No,
The third kid. You see those
No,
third kids?
this-
For Inter Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
those are
blue
pretty
ones?
sick. They're like the same as last year's, just a little
Inter
different.
Miami.
Like they're the same color, like the navy
you
blue.
know-
Oh yeah, the navy
You know
blue.
what they are?
Yeah.
They're Miami Dolphin jerseys. That's
Oh,
what
they
are.
look pretty sick.
Is it?
I think it really does draw inspiration from the Dolphin jerseys.
It does.
Huh.
That straight up does.
Yeah.
It really is. That's what somebody pointed out on social media. I was like,
I
dude, it really is.
love
Did
it,
you
man.
see?
I think it's great. Yeah, I think it looks really good. It's very clean.
Was
So
it
that'll
the
be
San
cool.
Jose Earthquakes or somebody announced that they're bringing out like a special third kit?
I don't know how many teams are going to have a third kit this year.
I
don't
just saw
think too many have.
something on social media. A team announced they're gonna release a special third kit, and they just teased it. They didn't show what it was, but it looks like it's gonna be a retro-ish jersey.
Yeah, the burn.
Well,
The
no,
Dallas
it is.
burn.
It is. No, it's San Jose. They are,
I think the burn did too.
is it? Because I saw that.
Yeah,
I looked it up, and it's saying
dude.
what is it? May 29th. So a few days ago, it leaked that the San Jose Quake or Clash are gonna bring back their third.
Oh my
Their
gosh, I'm gonna have to
third
cop
kit
one,
is going to
bro.
be a retro jersey.
Dude, okay, so this is so funny you guys bring this up because the other day I was kind of just like on my phone and I was like, dude, I remember when we talked about the Dallas burn. I think it was like the third or so episode, Fern, where we talked about it and
Yeah.
everything, and we kind of looked at like some retro jerseys and stuff. And I was like, dude, those jerseys were kind of sick. And so I looked them up and I looked up this specific jersey right here. And I found it. I found it on eBay, and this is totally side tangent here, but look at this jersey right here. I'm gonna share my screen, bro. I want it so bad, but look at how much they're wanting to sell this for, and it's not even like in good condition.
200.
Dude, this is sick.
That's a sick
That is
jersey.
pretty sick.
What size
Dude.
is it?
I think it's an
Does it say?
XL.
Oh,
Does it
okay.
say?
I don't know.
No, it doesn't say. But if they bring this back, like if they bring this like this collar, these like sleeve, these what do they call the cuffs? Like this just quick pinstripe with the Nike. Like I like this.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I was like, dude, I might 200. Like maybe, but then I kind of looked at some of these old vintage ones. Like some of these people want some money for these, man. Like this Mutiny one was pretty cool. I was like, dang, boys, I don't know.
My
I
biggest.
don't know
I
about some of
don't-
these, but
The reason
Sorry, go ahead, Fern.
I was gonna say the reason I bought the black jersey for Barca this year was because they released the black and gold Barca jersey like forever ago, when Messi was still there. Like 7 years ago, and I wanted to buy it and I never did. And now I look it up to buy it and I'm like, that's crazy. I'm not paying that for a jersey.
We're
So-
on the topic
Yeah.
of jerseys, bro. For those that listen to the pod, the cracked heads that listen to the pod that are also anime fans, you know, we mess with it. But I saw this the other day. I got to confirm if it's real or not because I haven't been able to find it online.
Yeah, is it the
You.
green, the real
No,
Betis?
no. Check
Is
this
it?
out, bro.
The One Piece one,
Yeah.
right?
Is it real? Have you seen this, Reyes? Check this out.
let me see. One Piece fans. No way.
Japan
I don't think that's
In
real.
ancient.
and H&M. That's what they were saying. It has the Japanese national team logo on it. I don't know how real that is. I got to go check out H&M after this pod. So that's all I'm saying.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I might have to make a run over there too and just kind of see.
I
that's
thought you were
legit.
talking about this one because this one is 100% for sure legit. Because
Oh, really?
I saw it. Look,
Whoa,
No
Naruto.
way.
yeah,
Dude, no way. That's sick.
it's a collab with Real Betis.
Oh, why
It's,
did they put?
Bro, that's
No, why did they put Naruto and Orange on
sick.
the back?
Yeah,
Oh, no, that ruins it. They
They
could have
could've
done
done
better.
better.
It could have been sicker.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, if that Japanese One Piece jersey is for real, I'm going to go cop one after this,
That's
though,
dope.
because I think that's sick. There's more and more One Piece collabs coming. I just saw them doing more and more sports team
Yeah.
stuff. And then
Yeah,
Busca
that's
de
dope.
One Piece.
That's cool. Exactly. I love that, dude. That's super cool. Yeah, but we'll keep track of the Club World Cup. Definitely kind of keep looking at some of these MLS teams. Yes, We want them to, at least make it out of the group stage. So please, Seattle, Miami, LA, please just get out of the group stage so that we can watch and root for a team in the playoffs, in the tournaments. Come on.
Seattle might be cooked. LAFC
Yeah.
has a good chance.
They're the teams we thought that we're going to go through.
Miami have a decent chance. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, sick. So that's kind of covering all of the topics that we kind of have for today. Looking into the MLS, because yes, this is a MLS podcast. Let me take a double check here. I thought there were more. Maybe I was a little off here. Okay, interesting.
Holy cow,
So-
everybody. Yeah, wait, what?
Wait a second.
There's no
here.
games this week.
Yeah, I thought there was.
There's a game next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
So we don't have any this week. Let me
Oh,
double
what?
check. Am I looking at this right?
Yeah, that's what I literally, because it does say Wednesday, so I see why you thought it was tomorrow, but it says June 20th.
Yeah. So, okay. I mean,
Wow.
yeah, Wednesday, June 25th are the games. Looks like there's no MLS action this weekend.
Somehow I'm still
Wah,
going to get
wah,
10
wah.
right.
Somehow Fern's still going to get some points here. We'll definitely see. But yeah, no games this upcoming weekend. So we'll kind of, cover some other stuff with the Instagram, with the TikTok. We'll kind of do some other things around that. The Club World Cup, the Gold Cup. We'll kind of post some stuff around there. But yeah, no change in leaderboard for this upcoming weekend. So we'll go into the next week with some picks, but we will post our crack performances, kind of get those out. But yeah, I mean, no MLS action at this point. So any last words, my guys? Any last comments before we cut this one off?
As usual, like, comment, subscribe, and let us know what you guys want to see. If there's any segments that we've done here in the show before that you've enjoyed, definitely put them in the comments. We definitely want to make sure that we're putting up content that you guys enjoy seeing. Arriba las Chivas, que la su madre, la América, and that's all I got to say from Chino.
Yeah, guys. Well, it's been fun. It's kind of weird that there's no MLS games. I didn't even realize that too until you just said it. So yeah, let us know what you guys want to see. Like Lopez said, my boy El Chino, and hopefully we can get some different stuff out to you guys, some more outdoor stuff, so you can see that we all play like Messi.
Got to show them what's up, bro. Got to show them that I'm better than Auckland City. I call them Auckland FC earlier in this pod, but I could play for them, bro. I believe.
we can't be talking all this smack and not show us playing. So
yeah. Well, I threw out an invite to you guys this upcoming week. So
hey, we should, especially if there's no soccer going on. Let's make some soccer ourselves, bro. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Gotta do something.
Something.
Nice. Heck yeah. Well, yeah. Again, thank you all. Thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all the above. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all kind of coming with us on this journey and supporting us. Thank you very much. But that has been the Correct Soccer Podcast, episode 18. We out. Bang, bang.